What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Wow, we have a lot to talk about in today's video. Derek Jeter apparently heard what Carlos Correa had to say about him being overrated as a shortstop and the fact that he didn't deserve any Gold Glove. We also have a few trades to talk about. The Yankees, they have been making a lot of noise as well. And then a few noteworthy players, in my opinion, were dropped from their respective teams. So we're going to break that down all right now. First and foremost, let's talk about the trades that happened yesterday. Brent Honeywell, a former top 15 prospect on the Fangraphs Top 100 back in 2018, has been traded for cash consideration, CC, as a lot of people on Twitter call that. It's not funny, but yeah, he was traded for CC. But like I mentioned, Brent Honeywell back in 2018 was considered a top 20 prospect in all of Major League Baseball until he had a bunch of injuries, including an elbow injury, and that really derailed his career. Now, he did pitch in 2021, but the Rays pitching staff is so loaded that they just don't have any room for him, and I think they want to give this kid an opportunity to try and be a big leaguer, and it wasn't going to happen in Tampa Bay, and Brent Honeywell could very well be one of those guys, and the A's are actually pretty good at developing pitchers, going back to Sonny Gray. I really like what Chris Bassett has been able to do. Frankie Montas is a stud as well, so if they can really develop Brent Honeywell just like the Tampa Bay Rays would have done, but they just didn't have room for him, I think that could spell good things, and I'm hoping the best for him, and hopefully that he stays healthy as well. Another small trade I do want to talk about because it's a nice segue into the next topic, but the Yankees, they have traded Nick Nelson and Donnie Sands, a catching prospect, to the Phillies, and the Yankees did this simply because they needed to clear some roster spots on their 40-man roster. So Nick Nelson, he has had flashes of greatness. He throws 98 to 100 miles an hour with movement, and his off speed is pretty nasty. He has one of the better changeups in baseball, at least in my opinion. I mean, his spin rate is ridiculous as well. And also Donnie Sands, he looked like a brand new player in 2021 after the 2020 quarantine break. He added power to his game, and the Phillies are actually trying to move JT Realmuto to a left field spot because they didn't retain Andrew McCutchen. So that is kind of the plan moving forward. As JT Realmuto gets up there in age, maybe he goes to a corner outfield spot to save his legs, because they're seeing what's happening to Buster Posey and guys like Joe Mauer. Your legs eventually give out. I mean, unless you're Yadier Molina and you can play until you're 50. Now, staying with the Yankees, to me, this was shocking because I never would have thought that they would give up on Clint Frazier, but they did, and they actually dropped two other players, Tyler Wade and Rougned Odor. I wasn't surprised about Rougned Odor, but Tyler Wade and Clint Frazier, those ones actually made my jaw drop because I was thinking, what the heck? They can't make space for these guys because they're valuable in their own way. Clint Frazier, he was the centerpiece of the Andrew Miller trade a few years ago. He's a 27-year-old who had a 124 OPS plus in his first 123 games. That is really good. Just unfortunately, when you combine his defensive issues along with his mental and physical issues, if you guys did not know, he's actually suffering through vision problems. I don't know what the exact diagnosis is with Clint Frazier, but apparently they are set with their outfield of Joey Gallo, Aaron Judge, maybe Giancarlo Stanton is going to play a corner outfield spot every so often. So Clint Frazier has been let go along with Tyler Wade, who in my opinion was fairly solid at his role in 2021, 17 stolen bases, and played some pretty solid backup defense at pretty much every single position aside from first base and catcher. So I would want a guy like that on my team. And Rougned Odor, yeah, he has 103 home runs over the last 5 seasons, but he has a combined 78 OPS plus since 2017, which means he's actually horrible at baseball. I mean, yeah, he runs into a pitch every now and then, and it goes a long way, but he's not good defensively. He's not good offensively at getting on base. Rougned Odor is just not a good baseball player anymore. So if you're a Yankees fan, let me know in the comment section down below. Are you surprised by the Nick Nelson trade? Are you surprised by Clint Frazier and Tyler Wade being let go? There was 1 month last year where Tyler Wade was pretty much the best hitter in baseball. I think he had a 351 batting average and a plus 111 OPS. I mean, the dude was a monster, and I really think that he would have been a solid contributor in 2022, just someone that can play some solid defense, steal a few bases, and I mean, really, when does that become important? In the playoffs, you need a guy like Tyler Wade, so that was very surprising considering he wasn't going to be that expensive to retain. Clint Frazier, again, a 27-year-old former stud, and I just hope that his vision problems get corrected because I feel terrible for him. Now, one more thing about the Yankees I do want to bring up, I guess I should say a former Yankees player, Derek Jeter, the current general manager or the current owner. What is he of the Marlins? I can't remember if he's the owner or the GM because I know that Kim Ng is the GM, so maybe that means Jeter is the owner. I can't remember. You guys can let me know. But Derek Jeter caught wind of Carlos Correa basically saying he didn't deserve any Gold Glove, and this is what Jeter had to say.
I heard about that.
Of your Gold Glove?
Yeah.
I was wondering what you thought about that, and
I didn't think much about it. I don't know how my name came up, so my Spanish is not that good. I still haven't seen it. I don't know how my name was brought up, but it doesn't even warrant a response. I mean, I can go in a lot of different directions, and I won't.
That was the intent.
To me, that is the absolute best response that you can possibly give because he said that he heard it, but it wasn't worth his time, and he even mentioned that he could throw a few things out. I'm guessing that he was alluding to 2017 and the trash cans, the fact that, hey, you know, Carlos Correa said that I don't deserve any Gold Gloves, but maybe he doesn't deserve that ring because I got a few of them, and these ones are real. That's the vibe that I got from that response. I thought that was a pretty, savage response, if you want to call it that. Moving on over to a few players that got dropped that was kind of confusing to me. Well, I guess the first one is confusing considering I'm a Cleveland fan, and Harold Ramirez was one of my favorite players to watch last year. He has been dropped by the Cleveland Guardians, and Harold is a Baseball Savant darling. If you have no idea, Baseball Savant is one of my favorite websites to track players. He was top 15% in exit velocity, so he absolutely smashes the ball. He was top 15% in K percentage, so he didn't strike out a lot, and he's top 15% in sprint speed. So he's kind of a 3.5 tool athlete, but the problem is he chases everything, so his vision isn't very good, and as an outfielder, he is not the best. But if someone out there needs a hard-hitting outfielder that can really mash and just doesn't care about making a lot of contact, Harold Ramirez is going to be your guy. He's a lot of fun to watch as well, but he was dropped by the Marlins, Cleveland, so there's got to be something wrong with him. I just don't know exactly what it is, even though his OPS plus was below average, so that's probably all it is. Yeah, he hits the ball hard, he runs fast, but maybe he's just not good at making contact, and that's all it is. Now, this one surprised me, even though I know Nico Goodrum has been pretty buns over the last 2 seasons, but the fact that he was not picked up by the Tigers, meaning he is now a free agent, that was surprising because he still has elite sprint speed. He can play every single position on the diamond, and he's a switch hitter, so that's pretty valuable. From 2018 to 2019, Nico was pretty much averaging 50 extra base hits and 12 stolen bases in under 125 games. That's really good, but he has slipped over the last 2 seasons. He has a 75 OPS plus in his last 133 games, and he is nearing 30 years old, so it was probably the right time, and replacing Nico Goodrum is actually Roger Clemens' son, Cody Clemens. He takes his spot on the 40-man roster. He was pretty good in AAA last year, not so much in single A. I don't know how that works, but Cody Clemens, he is going to be making the 40-man roster, which means that he's going to be in spring training, trying to make the big league team, and I hope the best for him because honestly, it's just fun having the Clemens name in baseball again. Even though you might not like Roger Clemens, he was fun to watch. Now, last but not least, let's talk about a few rumors surrounding some top free agents. Apparently, the San Francisco Giants are in on Starling Marte. He could be playing center field. Maybe that means Chris Bryant is not going to be retained. They've kind of given up on trying to re-sign him. And the Red Sox, they're thinking about going after CT3 Chris Taylor, which means they would have stolen Kike Hernandez and Chris Taylor from the Dodgers in the last few seasons. But that pretty much does it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of the few trades that we talked about. Clint Frazier, Harold Ramirez, and Nico Goodrum all getting dropped along with Tyler Wade and Mr. Rougned Odor. So yeah, that does it. Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe.